Hello, my name is Braden. This is Ariel 9, and in today's video, we're going to go over part 2 of our general feats series of videos. So we are taking a look at general feats. These feats all have a prerequisite of 4th level, and this is going to go over the over more of them than you saw in the first video. So let's get to it because we still have a long ways to go, and there's still another video after this. So, the first feat that we are going to look at is heavily armored. You do need a medium armor training in order to take this feat. It increases your Constitution strength score by 1 to a maximum of 20, and you additionally gain training with heavy armor. So this is really a feat that you it's really only a feat for a character to take. They want to gain a heavy armor and they're somehow stuck at medium armor training. Though there are additional ways that you could do this. You could multi-class. Um, so this feat is really for people who don't want to multi-class, but they do want the benefits of using heavy armor. And I think one of the reasons that you might want heavy armor proficiency is for this feat, the Heavy Armor Master, which does require heavy armor training to take. So this feat gives you two benefits. It increases Constitution or Strength score by 1 to a max of 20, and then you also get damage reduction. When you're hit by an attack while you're wearing heavy armor, any bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage dealt to you by that attack is reduced by an amount equal to proficiency bonus. So Heavy Armor Master used to just decrease non-magical bludgeoning slashing damage you take by I think 3 points. It wasn't good, and there also wasn't an ability score increase attached to it if I remember correctly. Um, yeah, so Heavy Armor Master was not good. This is a lot better. Also, this um has the damage reduction here is going to be useful at all levels because it increases, and it's going to be especially useful against um well, it's especially useful because this is for every attack that hits you. So if a creature has multi-attack and they're hitting you multiple times in a turn, you're gaining this damage reduction multiple times per turn. So you're going to see value from this feat. If you have heavy armor training, consider taking this feat. It's honestly pretty good. It will get to a max reduction of 6 at 17th level if you end up going that high. But it starts at 2 and it's going to go to 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Um, it's pretty decent. And it's on every attack that hits you, so you're going to see value out of it regardless. So yeah, pretty good feat. I love the changes to it. Very good. I might consider taking it myself on some beefy characters. Inspiring Leader. So Inspiring Leader requires you to have a Wisdom or Charisma score of 13 plus. It increases your Wisdom or Charisma score by 1 to a max of 20. And in addition, you gain Bolstering Performance. When you finish a short or long rest, you can give an inspiring performance, a speech, song, or dance. When you do so, choose up to 6 allies, which can include yourself, within 30 feet of yourself who witness the performance. The chosen creatures gain temporary hit points equal to character level, plus the modifier of the ability you increased with this feat. So, the main change to this is wisdom was not a choice in 2014. Now it is. So, you have a lot more characters that can take this feat. And it does scale pretty well. Um considering the amount of temporary hit points you get from it. Gonna be good at high levels, gonna be good at these low levels. So yeah, pretty decent feat. I do like it, and I love the change. Keen Mind. So Keen Mind has seen some changes here. You require a intelligence of 13 plus to take it. It increases your intelligence score by 1 to a max of 20. You get lore knowledge. Choose one of the following skills: Arcana, History, Investigation, Nature, or Religion. If you lack proficiency in the chosen skill, you gain proficiency in it. And if you already have proficiency in the skill, you gain expertise in it. This is a neat way to gain expertise or additional skill proficiency. Need that instead. Additionally, the other benefit you gain is called Quick Study. You can take the study action as a bonus action. So, for those who aren't aware, the study action actually allows you to make an Arcana, History, or Religion check. Um, so, the study action requires you to make one of those checks. Now you can do so as a bonus action, so you could actually do this in the midst of combat without wasting an action to do so. There are reasons that you might want to do this, um, depending on the situation that you might find yourself in. So this is a neat feature. I think you're most likely going to see this on probably, if I had to guess. You could see this on an intelligent fighter as well. But yeah, it's an interesting feat. I like it. Skill increases are always nice. Ability score increases are nice, and then the bonus action, study action, is interesting. You could see some use out of the lightly armored. So there's actually a improvement to this. So ability score increase your strength or dexterity score by 1 to max 20, and armor training. Gain training with light armor and shields. So lightly armored would be a pretty decent feat to take for spellcasters that don't have any armor training. Not only do you gain light armor training, you also gain training with shields. Pretty decent. Granted, I would only take this. I would only wield a shield if I had the forecaster feat, which we'll talk about in the third uh video in this series. But yeah, lightly armored has seen an increase. Originally, it only gained training with light armor. Now it also gains training with shields. So this is a pretty decent feat, especially for creatures that want some armor training that don't have it. Yeah, decent option here. Mage Slayer. So Mage Slayer has actually seen a change. Um, but let's go over them. So ability score increase. Increase your strength or dexterity score by 1 to a max of 20. You gain concentration breaker. When you damage a creature that is concentrating, it has disadvantage on the saving throw it makes to maintain concentration. And then the third benefit you get is guarded mind. If you fail an intelligence, a wisdom, or a charisma saving throw, you can cause yourself to succeed instead. Once you use this benefit, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. So the thing that they've changed in this feat is originally you could make a opportunity attack against a creature that casted a spell. So they've taken out that part. They've added in guarded mind instead. Guarded mind is a good feature. Being able to automatically succeed on an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma saving throw is going to be pretty decent, depending on because most of those are going to be caused by spells. And considering the spell being cast on you, you might definitely want to succeed it, especially if you fail. Um, yeah, so I think Mage Slayer is pretty good. The concentration breaker is also decent on this. Guarded Mind, I think we'll see use. Um, so yeah, I think this is a decent option for you to take. Martial weapon training. Yeah, so this feat has seen some changes. Um, Well, no, actually, it's either a renamed feat or a new feat. Let's go over it. So there's two benefits to this: increase your strength or dexterity score by one to a max of 20, and then weapon proficiency. Gain proficiency with martial weapons. So the only reason to really take this feat is if you want to play a martial character and you don't have the ability to gain proficiency with martial weapons, and you want proficiency with martial weapons. That would be the reason. So there might be some martial weapons that you want to gain proficiency with that you don't have access to. So this would be a feat to take for that reason. Trying to think which classes I might want to take this. Um, really any class that get into a weapon doesn't get access on the choice that you make. So yeah, this is a neat feat. I don't know too many instances where you would take this, but you have the option to take it if you nice. Medium armor master. So medium armor master need medium armor training in order to take it. You increase your strength or dexterity score by one to a max of 20, and you gain dexterous wear. While you're wearing medium armor, you can add 3 rather than 2 to AC if you have a strength, sorry, if you have a dexterity score of 16 or higher. Um, this feat is not worth it in my opinion. I think you could choose so many other feats. Really, all this feat boils down to, if you're considering taking this feat, it means that you get that ability score increase, and then you're essentially getting a +1 armor class. That's what this feat gives. I would have much preferred if Dexterous Wear just removed the dexterity maximum of medium armor wears. I feel like that would have been better and made this feat worth taking. As it is, I don't really like this feat. It doesn't really do much for me. And if I'm playing a character and medium armor is my max armor, um, if I have a dexterity score of 16 or higher, I might just consider wearing studded leather instead. I'm probably going to get a higher armor class out of doing that. So, really, there's no benefit taking this feat because it's not really helping you out. Yeah, the highest AC that you could get from this would be if you're wearing half plate. I think it's 15 plus dex max of 2. This would make it dex max of 3, so you'd have an 18 and half plate, which I guess is the same as um plate armor, but still not that great. Not a great feat. There's not that many there's not really that many benefits from it. I think this needed another benefit. The dexterous wear is fine, but there needed to be an additional benefit on top of this for it to be worth it. Hey. Moderately armored. Increase your strength or dexterity score by 1 to 20. Gain proficiency with medium armor. You do need light armor training in order to take this feat. Um, just like the other armor training feats, this one is not great. I think light armor training might be the best option to take, just because you also get shield proficiency with it. Moderately armored used to give shield proficiency, but it was moved to the lightly armored one. So now you just get medium armor training. So it's not good. Uh, Not really a benefit to wearing medium armor unless you just have really sucky decks. Trying to get that higher AC. Um, yeah, the armored the armored feats I'm not really so um yeah the they're really niche feats and you're really only taking them if you really want or need the armor training. But yeah, I think the higher level ones especially aren't worth it. Mounted combatant. So this is an interesting feat. It has seen some change. So increase your strength, dexterity, or wisdom score by 1 to a maximum of 20. Mounted strike. While mounted, you have advantage on attack rolls against any unmounted than 5 feet of your mount that is at least one size smaller than the mount. Leap aside. If your mount is subjected to an effect that allows it to make a dexterity saving throw to take only half damage, it instead takes no damage if it succeeds on the saving throw, and only half damage if it fails. For your mount to gain this benefit, you must be riding it, and neither of you incapacitated. Veer. While mounted, you can force an attack that hits your mount to hit you instead if you don't have the incapacitated. So, there is really only one reason to take this feat, and that is if you're playing in a campaign where mounted combat is the norm. Or if you're playing in a campaign where your DM allows you to use mounted combat and you're doing it quite often. Now, I can see that there may be a reason for this feat in more often, and that is you can play the paladin now has a 5th level feature that lets them summon an otherworldly steed, and they can use that as a mount. So that may be a reason to take this feat, but like I said, the only reason to take this feat is if you're doing mounted combat pretty often. Gonna make sure your mount isn't taking out a battle. This is gonna benefit you, since you're riding a mount. Um, the advantage on attack rolls against unmounted creatures within 5 feet of you that are at least one size smaller than you is really the best benefit here. Leap aside and veer are also good. They affect the mount though, and not yourself. So there are decent benefits from this, but you're really only consider taking this if you're going to be doing mounted combat pretty often. Observant. So, like keen mind, observant is in the same category of options here. So, observant. You need an intelligence or a wisdom score of 13 plus, and the benefits you gain are ability score increase your intelligence or wisdom score by 1 to a maximum of 20. You gain keen observer. Choose one of the following skills: insight, investigation, or perception. If you lack proficiency in the chosen skill, you gain proficiency in it. And if you already have it, proficiency in it, gain expertise in it. Additionally, you gain quick search. Take the search action as a bonus action. So, quick search may actually be more beneficial than quick study because the search action lets you make a perception check, and you can use it to find hidden creatures. So normally you'd have to take an entire action, figure out where a creature went if it hid. You'd have to waste an action doing that. Now you could use a bonus action to find out where hidden creatures are, which is pretty decent. So I can see Observant being a little more useful than Quick Study, but then again, they're very different options. But I do like versatility of this. I actually don't know why investigation is included as an option here, because investigation is not a skill that you use when taking the action. So don't take investigation if you take this feat. That's what I'm saying. You want to choose insight or perception. But yeah, interesting choice here. Piercer. Piercer is a feat that was seen in Tasha's Alternate Everything. I actually don't believe it's seen any changes here, but we will go over them. Ability score increase your strength or dexterity score by 1 to a maximum of 20. Puncture. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack that deals piercing damage, you can reroll one of the attack's damage dice. You must use roll. Enhanced critical. When you score a critical hit that deals piercing damage to a creature, you can roll one additional damage die when dealing the extra damage to takes. So Piercer is for characters who wield weapons that deal damage. So range characters, Piercer is a good option. Um, weapons, good option. Um, it's going to increase your damage potential with the puncture part, and then enhanced critical will deal additional. So it's decent. I've taken Piercer as a player character, and I think it does have some pretty decent applications. Especially when you crit, that extra damage is nice. I mean, that extra damage doesn't crit, but it is an additional die of damage. So you're doing pretty good with that. And then the once per turn reroll is really good because you can do it after you choose to do it after you hit a creature and roll really low on the damage reroll. So yeah, I like it. I think it's a good feat. Poisoner. Poisoner is another feat that was seen in Tasha's. Um, there there are some changes to this. I don't know if there's any like actual mechanical changes. I think they just changed the wording up a little bit, but we'll go over it. So ability score increase your dexterity or intelligence score by 1 to a maximum of 20. Potent poison. When you make a damage roll that deals poison damage, it ignores resistance to poison damage. This is really going to be a feat to consider taking if you're playing an assassin. I think they have a special ability that poisons. And then the last benefit you get from this is called Brew Poison. So you gain proficiency with the Poisoner's Kit. With 1 hour of work using such a kit and expending 50 gold pieces worth of material, you can create a number of poison doses equal to your proficiency bonus. As a bonus action, you can apply a poison dose to a weapon or a piece of ammunition. Once applied, the poison retains its potency for 1 minute or until you hit with the poison item, whichever is shorter. When a creature takes damage from the poisoned item, the creature must succeed on a constitution saving throw. The DC of which is 8 plus the modifier of the ability increased by this feat and your proficiency bonus, or it takes 2d8 poison damage and has the poison condition until the end of your next turn. So, this is an interesting feat. Unfortunately, the poison damage that it deals is a saver suck. That's kind of suck, but it also gives you the poison condition if they do fail. It's nice that you can choose either dexterity or intelligence for the saving throw to scale off of. So pretty decent for rogues, really for any. However, I think the brew poison will see more use off of you applying the poison doses to melee weapons, because if you apply it to a piece of ammunition and you fire it and miss, essentially that piece of ammunition is lost. So you're not very likely going to be able to go and pick up that piece of ammunition so that you can refire it. So this is more useful on melee weapons in general, I think. But um, so far, based on the old monster manual, a lot of creatures have good constitution, so may not be really beneficial. But if you're playing a character that deals poison damage, ignoring resistance to poison damage. So, might be something you consider. I would not take this feat if I was playing in a campaign where there's a lot of undead creatures, because most of the time undead are immune to poison damage. But in a campaign focused around maybe humanoid enemies, like maybe campaign is like some type of political intrigue campaign or something like that. I could see Poisoner being a useful feat. So it has its, it will have its usage depending on the type of campaign that you're playing. Pole Arm Master. So Polar Master has always been a pretty decent feat. Let's see what they've done. So the first change that people are going to notice is strength or dexterity 13 plus requirement. This dexterity used to not be there, and I think the reason they added it in is that quarterstaff is one of the weapons that you can use this, and monks can use quarterstaffs. So I think the reason behind this is that monks could potentially take Polar Master. Though I'm not exactly sure why you would, because well, you could, but you're probably not going to be using full strike, is what I mean. But let's get into it. So yeah, strength or dexterity 13 plus requirement. Um, the ability score increases dexterity or strength score by 1 to max of 20. I've noticed here that they've put dexterity or strength. And normally, uh, in the wording convention, it should be strength or dexterity. I don't know why they switched it around for this particular feat. Probably an oversight, but that is how it's written in Player's Handbook, so I've included it here. Pole Strike. Immediately after you take the attack action and attack with a quarterstaff, a spear, or a weapon that has the heavy and reach properties, you can use a bonus action to make a melee attack with the opposite end of the weapon. The weapon deals bludgeoning damage, and the weapon's damage die for this attack is a d4. Reactive Strike. While you're holding a quarterstaff, a spear, or a weapon that has the heavy and properties, you could take a reaction to make one melee attack against a creature that enters the tab with that weapon. Um, yeah. So Polar Master is a pretty decent treat. Um, I think it's really good for characters who want to do spear and shield. I've had an idea for a character that I wanted to play that did this. So I could get this Polar Master feat early, level 4, and then you have the ability to make a bonus action attack with the other end, deal that d4 damage. And then since you're doing spear and shield, you can take the dueling fighting style, dealing additional damage since you're only one hand. A spear, so pretty decent. Um, yeah, there's some decent options here. I think the only nitpicky thing here is I really wish Reactive Strike allowed you to make an opportunity attack against, and that's because there are certain features that only work for opportunity attacks, and reaction attacks don't count as. So, we'll see. So, Resilient. Resilient is a really decent feat. You gain a ability score increase. Use one ability score in which you lack saving throw proficiency. Increase the chosen ability score by 1 to a max of 20, and then you gain saving throw proficiency. Gain saving throw proficiency with the chosen ability. So, most of the time, people take this feat to gain saving throws when they don't have it. Um, but this feat is decent for much any character. If there's a saving throw that you want to be in, Resilient is a great option. So, not only do you get the ability score increase, but you gave the saving throw proficiency as well. So, Resilient is a great option. But that is the uh, that is all the features we're gonna look at in this video. So some final thoughts. Um, yeah, I was talking about Polearm Master, and I do really wish Reactive Strike was an opportunity attack, because as we'll talk about in part three, um, there are there's more ways that it could have paired with Sentinel if it was, I think. And there's also classes like or subclasses like the Vengeance Paladin who gain benefits off of opportunity attacks that I think this could have paired very well with if it was an opportunity attack. Um, but yeah. Um, as for the other feats that we looked at, I think Poisoner is niche. A lot of the other feats I enjoy. I'm not a big fan of the armor training feats, as you can see. I just wish there was something more to them. They need some additional benefit to make them worth taking. I know armor training is good, but I don't think it's good enough for that to be the only thing that you get from it. Granted, they used to not give you an ability score increase, so that is something, but I still think it's lacking compared to all the other feat options you could take. But yeah, this is the end of part two. In the next video, we will go over the rest of the general feats. That will be the end of this series. Yes, but thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers as possible, so help me out on my journey if you can. I'd greatly appreciate it. Um, Tell me in the comments which feat you're most interested in. If any of these lie on that, there may be other feats later on in the series that we look at, or in the last video that may be more striking to people. So yeah, I appreciate you all for being here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.